Hello, and welcome to another episode of FPL Journey to 10K, the podcast and series in which Matt here gives us the advice we need to finish in the top 10K. What gives him the credentials? Well, in the 8 season he's played, he's finished in the top 10 six times. Top 10? Top 10,000 six times. Finished in the top 10 six times going forward, Matt. And you are also ranked former world number one. So you are more than fit the mustard to give us that advice, Matt. How have you been? It's a bit weird
Um,
doing this whilst the game week still in action.
yeah, I'm good, sir. And yeah, obviously nice to see you yesterday, day before yesterday. So
Yeah, it's 4 days in a row this week.
just the wrong
Twice
day,
there,
wasn't it? It was just the
twice
wrong
in
day.
person.
Otherwise, we could have done a live one, but we
Yeah, yeah.
picked the wrong day to see each other. But yeah, I'm good, man. I think I'm 3 points away from a grey arrow, so I'm on a red at the moment. So I just need Solanke to do something else, and he's looking threatening. He's got a goal already.
Yeah.
Had a few chances. So yeah, if I get away with a bit of a fail. We'll go through our teams in a second, but you know, no clean sheets in the defence, and missed the big captaincy haul with Alvarez. Like I'll be happy to get away with a small red arrow or a great. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Similar sort of story for you.
Yeah. It's very similar,
Yeah.
very similar. So again, Richarlison got the goal, nearly scored a second in injury time. That would have been nice. That would have probably took him to 15 points to then be doubled, but Flecken pulled out a save. But yeah, I'm on 40. Well, I'll show it up in a minute, but small red, but with Solanke and Areola to go. Solanke's got a goal, great. Another half to go. Areola's on 2 saves, so if he gets another save, there's another point, and I'll take them all. Any
I
point
think
that
this is looking at the effective ownership. I think Solanke around we're the same rank, weren't we, going into this week, which is pretty bizarre. But yeah, I think Areola was like at 65% effective ownership. Dom was 50%. So yeah, stuff do no same as Areola. Like the people he's saving from is Solanke. So yeah, any point for Solanke counts a little bit more. But yeah, Richarlison, like yeah, I saw that save. You also, you see, his. I'm looking for these moral victories, right, to kind of reassure ourselves. But like, he had a disallowed goal as well, that nice little chip
did.
when apparently he
Yeah, yeah,
fouled
yeah.
the player, which was like he didn't even touch. So um, I'm gonna go through these moral victories in a second, right? Because you need them to keep yourself sane.
Feel better, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As well, I've got one. I've got one in my team, a moral victory, even if I do end up on a red arrow. But I'll come on to it. Uh, why don't you start? How you feel it's gone so far?
Well, this is kind of boring, isn't it? We've got slightly different teams, but exactly the same points again. So yeah, can't be too excited. So going into tonight, I had 45 points with Areola and Solanke to play. Solanke, of course, is probably on for 8 points. Let's hope it's not a 9 pointer again. We know what happens when he's on track for a 9 pointer. I think it's 8 points at the moment, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, Areola will get some points as well. But yeah, defense was really poor. So Estupinan obviously only made it to 45 minutes. Interesting to hear in press conferences whether that was tactical, whether that was just him, resting him because he's returning from an injury and they were already getting hammered 3-0, or whether there was an injury. That would be pretty annoying. But yeah, Brighton got battered. Saliba and Gabriel, yeah, really frustrating. And obviously, kind of like myself and you, we went double Arsenal defense ages ago, right? Because of the fixtures, but also the team expected goals conceded stats were the best by far. So statistically, they're the best defense in the league. And I think when you look at the betting odds that get published, they're like the highest chance for a clean sheet most weeks, right? So I think they conceded 89th minute. It was a bit of a cock up from Saliba, really. But yeah, expected goals conceded was like 0.4. So again, like they gave away one big chance and then conceded it. Feels like Man City a few years ago. That's where the Arsenal defense is. So yeah, disappointing there. Mids, I brought in Foden. So I brought in Foden for Salah. It was interesting because Foden, I think this was affected by Walker. Hopefully we'll talk about Walker and the controversy, because that's just a fun thing to talk about. Like, it brings laughs. But Foden has been playing inside a little bit more. Well, recently he's been playing as the 10, and he has been playing when he's been on the right wing inside a little bit more. And I think that's because like Walker's just given the width all season.
Yeah.
Obviously, without Walker, Foden was out so wide. He was so peripheral to the game and probably lucky to get an assist, really. He was almost a decoy runner. He was the decoy player in the whole team. So it got him in 6 points, assist, got to be happy with that. But a bit concerned moving forward whether that was the right move. I had the choice to bring in De Bruyne, who looks a lot better, but I brought in Foden for the price flexibility. So we'll see what happens. But Foden got returned, but I wasn't happy with what I saw. Wasn't happy with what I saw. Saka got 10 points. I think he was a valid captaincy option this week, as were a few other people. He delivered against his stats finally, right? So he's had good underlying stats. Actually, not as good in this most recent game, but yeah, well deserved the return for Saka. Richarlison, got to be happy with what did he get? 7 points. Like, shame he didn't get any bonus, but he was. He played. He got the minutes. He was involved. He had okay underlying stats, not great. Had a disallowed goal for like a foul that wasn't really a foul. And like you said, he had a few other chances. So I think that was a bit par, right? De Bruyne was a big option. Foden was a big option. Other than Alvarez, who I think probably Alvarez was the best option going into this week if you had him. Have to admit that, especially when it was hinted heavily that Haaland was out. Alvarez was the best option. But Richarlison got to be happy with that. And then I kind of played Palmer. He didn't do anything. However, he always gets penalties. He's in a team that seemed to get fouled a lot in the box. And I think there was 2 or 3 very valid shouts to get a penalty. So
all dives.
So
every single one of them.
You can't feel unlucky for not getting. And Watkins got his return. Solanke's got a return, and Darwin 2 points, but weirdest way to get 2 points. He got an assist, so he got his attacking return. But of course, expected goals of nearly 2 again, which is also breaking records, right, for all the wrong reasons, like hitting the woodwork 4 times, looking really good. But no, I think he's an awesome player, right? So it's not him being a bad finisher, right? Like some of those shots that hit the woodwork, that was just like small margins there. Like I think he's a great player, and it's like he's an okay finisher, and he just needs that luck to balance, and then he'll be the top scorer in the league. So another day, Alvarez, who was he was the best captaincy option going into the game, but two shots, 2 goals. Albeit they were in good locations and stuff like that. But 2 shots, and then Darwin did 11 shots, penalty, hit the woodwork 4 times, right? So in another game, Alvarez gets 1 attacking return, if not at all, right? And then so I think his expected goals was 0.8. Darwin could have got 3 goals, another game week, and that's kind of shifted around. But it's fun. It's fun watching him, and if Liverpool talk about when the Liverpool get a double game week, but if he's in 25 and Haaland isn't getting 90 minutes or is hinted he's not starting or got injury breakthrough, I'd be very tempted to triple captain Nunes because I want to be there. I want to be there for that monster haul. It's going to happen one day.
Yeah. I get to live it twice as a Liverpool fan and a Darwin owner. I get to live the enjoyment of Darwin Nunes twice. But it's not to hang up on the guy, but in his last 4 games, he's had 5 attacking returns. Like you take that all day, but because it's Darwin Nunes and there's a lot about his misses, people just get on his back. But 5 attacking returns in 4 games, just since Salah's been out, you would take that all day from an FPL asset.
No, for sure.
Granted, he missed a pen, and granted, he gets booked a bit, but you'd take it, He's returned in all 4 games as well, just and then got a brace against Bournemouth. So, I'm fairly happy with him.
Yeah, he's the best attacking player from the best attacking team at the moment, right? And we'll see if he's still on pens, but I think it's. I don't think it would be the style of that team to. It wasn't a bad pen.
Right? Salah's missed quite a few, and he continues to take them. So I don't foresee us kicking him off.
He seems confident. It seems like this is like pundit style talk, but I think he still feels very confident and stuff. It's not like he misses a chance and then goes into his shell, right? So I think at next pen he'll be wanting to take it, right? So
Yeah, I think so. I think so. The only other person that might get it is McAllister if he's on the pitch. Obviously, he used to take them for Brighton.
Hmm.
Other than that, I think it's give the ball to Nunes again. Yeah, my team. I won't go through loads of it because it's quite a few similar players. The main difference is I played Kyle Walker. You've got a Stupinan. Obviously, Kyle Walker didn't play at all, so I'm going to have Matty Cash off the bench. So I'm on, in theory, 46 with Ariola and Solanke still in play. And then Gross is my other midfielder. I ended up benching Palmer. I got away with it because Chelsea could have very easily had a penalty or two, and Palmer I would have expected him to probably put those penalties away. So yeah, it was a toss up between benching Solanke or benching Palmer, and I was on Solanke up until, in fact, we were in the pub when I changed it about an hour before deadline, and I moved Palmer onto the bench and I put Solanke on the pitch. That worked out quite nicely so far. But I'm
Yeah,
getting a bit frustrated with Gross. He's only had 2 games to be fair. He's got Palace at home this week, so I'll play him. Pedro might be injured
yeah,
potentially, which I imagine will give Gross the penalties. So hopefully this is the week he comes in for me and does something. But you talk before about those little wins. It could have been worse. So I've kept the second transfer. I just did the one, bringing in Foden for Salah. Played Foden, outscored Palmer, who was my other option. So
yeah.
that's a win. But it also my second transfer I was considering was cash out to bring in Estupinan, who got no
Oh,
points, or to
yeah.
bring in Trent, who got one, and Cash got one anyway. So I'm
Well,
quite
Trent got
happy to have
zero. Did
kept that
Trent get
second
zero because
transfer.
he conceded, didn't he, as well?
He only conceded one,
Oh, okay.
so yeah,
Well,
he ended up on 1 point.
oh, fair enough. I thought he was on zero,
So
but yeah.
oh, maybe unless he got booked as well. But he
Well,
ended up just -1 for two goals against, right?
it's minus. Yeah, I think you're right. I
Just
think you're
lose
right.
the clean sheet.
I think you're right.
So I think he's ended
I'm
up.
going to expose myself as the fraud I am. I'll stop.
Pretty. I'll cut this bit out if I knew how to do it. But yeah,
Can you
he's
dub
ended
it?
up
Can you dub it with
on.
me giving the correct answer of how points are
Yes,
calculated?
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure he might have been onto it, but either way, he's not outscored Cash, and
No.
it gives me that too. And
And
the
do you
closer we get
think
to the deadline,
you'll be rested next week as well? Possibly, right?
potentially. I mean, Connor. Oh, I'm going to move on because Connor Bradley is part of this conversation because I think it's an important thing to note because with the double game week. So, firstly, potential Liverpool double game week hasn't been announced yet. It's only 2 weeks away. Surely they need to give the fans a bit of notice. So, will that happen? Who knows? I think
Mm,
Ben Crellin's spreadsheet suggests it's like 90% that it will. But surely, the closer we get to that date, the more it's unlikely. But the second point, Bradley. Connor Bradley, 2 goals. Sorry, 2 assists, a
yeah,
goal, a clean sheet, and 21 points. In the game week before, he got an assist or two. He's also did well in the cup against
yeah.
Norwich. The guy is flying, and Klopp seems to be the sort of manager that when players are flying, he likes to continue to play them. So I think you might get another game out of Bradley and Trent not play or
I,
start in the midfield
I think
potentially,
it's just that point.
which that'd be
I think it's one where it's not too deep. Obviously, he's not. Well, my gut feeling with it is that he wouldn't replace Trent in the squad or kind of force Trent to
yeah.
play as midfielder. Like he'll be the right back. The only potential interest one is next game week. It is against Arsenal, which does make it a little bit different. But
Yeah.
Trent's minutes next week are at risk. I think there's enough to say that this guy is doing an excellent job at covering him for the time being. If I was to bet, I'd say yeah, Trent would start just because it's Arsenal and like the title challenge and kind of everything. But yeah, there's probably enough of a doubt that I wouldn't be rushing in to bring in Trent this week. I'd be
Trent.
waiting another week just because of the injury and getting like eased back in.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I do need to. We'll come on to it because we're going to talk about the defense because I need to probably do something with my defense this week. Still got the 2-2 transfers. So the other thought, which I imagine 90% of the game are thinking about, is on the top there. Haaland. Haaland is
Yeah,
back, and he got 20 minutes. KDB started and played 70 minutes. So yeah, how are you looking at the City assets?
Um, I think there's a bit an underlying thing that maybe it hasn't clicked because of the reason that De Bruyne and Haaland haven't been playing. But the attack isn't exactly really fluid or amazing, right? I think against Burnley at home, which at the moment is probably the easiest fixture you've got given how they play. Like some of the second goal, the first goal for the free kick was obviously just like quick thinking, really well executed, great goal. The second one, I don't know what the defender was doing, like giving it just to like some of the,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a kind of defensively really bad team, but City only put up expected goals of like 1.7 at home to Burnley. You'd be expecting that to be close to 3. So like the Liverpool attack at the moment is levels above the Man City attack. So it's like it's cool that these players are back, right? But yeah, it's not like Man City aren't blowing teams away like they have done historically in previous seasons. But yeah, I think with kind of Haaland returning, obviously we'll be talking about this in a little bit more detail later
Yeah.
around who we want to bring in. I probably want to see more than him. Like he's played what 20 minutes now since game week 16.
Yeah, so it's a little while,
December,
isn't
like
it?
mid-December, like or before this, like yeah. So like, and he's going to be like vital for all the competitions they're still in, right? So I don't see him being rushed in. So I want to see a start maybe before. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm not confident unless it's a leak. I'm not confident he starts against Burnley. Of course, if he does, then that's a interesting conversation. Um, yeah, De Bruyne, like yeah, kind of good performance. Like he's very expensive now.
Just the price, isn't it? It's the price.
Very
It's the price point for him,
well.
which is
There
a
are better
headache.
options. Richarlison is a better like ignore double game weeks and blanks. Just purely looking at stats and involvement. Richarlison's better because he's on penalties at the moment. I know Son is back, is back, but humour me for a second. Yeah, like people like Palmer and Richarlison are a better asset than De Bruyne. Like
Based on the price or just in general?
oh yeah, just in general, like their underlying stats
Yeah.
and being on penalties, right? So yeah, if there's not like a Liverpool double game week in 25, I may go to that triple attack potentially and play that risk, right? So
Yeah.
it is interesting, but yeah, they're both back. I probably want to look at a bit more assured minutes from Haaland first. Yeah, you obviously mentioned Bradley with his great performance. I'd be surprised that's a long term thing, but I think anyone looking to bring in Trent this game week coming should tread carefully, right? Just in case he's going to be eased back. I would think he would start, but it's probably enough to defer that transfer, right? Enough doubt to defer it. And yeah, defense, like you said, like, there's not a huge amount of options. Like the same can happen to like other popular picks. Like Spurs are a dreadful defense, isn't it? And like
Yeah. Yeah.
Porro
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
1 point,
All over
which
the place.
I was thankful for because I think he's my biggest threat, like with his ownership. But he was still on corners though. He was taking some corners with Madison on the pitch, right? But yeah, it's hard to predict clean sheets at the moment. I mean, I'm just going to kind of keep going for the tried and tested, which is like the try and get an attacking defender, and then also try and get one from a team with low XG conceded, right? Which
Yeah.
still Arsenal. They were
Yeah.
unlucky, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Go on. It was like,
And the problem is they've been unlucky so many times. We should have
these are
got
the
more out
moral
of them than we
victories.
have.
These are the moral victories. These are the moral victories
Yeah.
that I'm noting down.
Well,
Yeah.
on that defense frustration, Estupinan, right? So he
Yeah.
got pulled at half time after conceding two. The week before, he did get 8 points. He
Yeah.
in the 0-0, but he seems to be in this new position of the left of a centre three. Um, does it continue? I'm getting pulled off at half time.
Yeah. I'd be interested. Yeah, I didn't watch the game myself, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there's any comments like around was it an injury? Was he? I mean, he's too good a player to be just dropped. So it might be a case of we're just going to change our formation, or this guy's come back from a relatively long term injury, so we've lost the game. Let's just rest him. That's what I'm hoping. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, it is a bit concerning when I saw that. But also his positioning is concerning because Brighton, I know, despite the couple of 0-0s they had recently, their defense ain't good. They were lucky to get those clean sheets. So I was getting the Stupinan for him to be that like marauding like wing back, if not like winger from earlier in the season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, like I regret I got the 8 points from last game week, which is like lucky. I should have just kept Trent, or you know, I would have, got Walker in hindsight would have been the better move. Like if I didn't rush it. Obviously, Walker was benched this week, but we'll see if that's a long term thing. But didn't matter.
Hopefully not.
Didn't matter this game week anyway because they conceded, right?
Hopefully
So
not.
like you didn't miss a
Yeah.
haul. So like you missed 2 points.
I
So
was quite happy with that. I was like,
yeah,
so frustrating. He's played every single game, and the week he doesn't start, here they are. 93rd minute, Burnley. Come on, get rid of that clean sheet.
um,
On the score update, it's now 2-0 Man United.
okay.
Haaland with a Shaw assist. West Ham have scored. Ward-Prowse penalty, so that's 1-1. Might
Hmm.
take some bonus points off of Solanke, that one, potentially.
Well, all the Bournemouth defence, which isn't all Neto, which isn't a bad thing.
Through
But
there. So
yeah.
Ward-Prowse
Hopefully
is
it
on
opens it
3,
up.
Solanke is on for 2.
Well, hopefully that opens it up a little bit. But you just know Bowen's going to get a jammy goal or assist. Like he's had a few fortunate
The win.
ones. Like,
For the win.
but you put Alvarez as the difference. So, like, question to you: like, would you, if you had him in your team, would you have captain him?
I wouldn't have. Purely
No.
for minute risk. In my head, I thought he's going to get subbed off. He'll get subbed off in minute 60, and he'll get subbed off for, if KDB doesn't start, potentially him, but definitely Haaland. I think there was enough information out to know that Haaland was going to be starting on the bench. And
I
yeah,
think
his lack of minutes would have put me off him.
I think if I had him, I think there was a few hints from like some of those in the know accounts, which are quite accurate with City info that De Bruyne would be starting. And then thinking about it, like thinking about logically as an Alvarez owner, if De Bruyne is starting, he's not going to play the full 90, is he? He's going to come off at like 60 minutes or whatnot. He lasted a little bit longer, but he came off. I'm trying to think who would come on for him. It could have been, I guess you could argue Bernardo or Grealish, but I think there's some logic to say that Haaland would have come on for him. But yeah, I would have probably captained. But yeah, I've just never really. I think he's been a good option. But like some people got lucky with the extent. Some people got him like weeks and weeks ago, right? And this is like the butterfly effect, isn't it? Like some people just randomly got him, which may have been I've done a post on Twitter. This is it's tongue in cheek, right? So it comes across salty, but it's tongue in cheek, just winding a few people up. But people generally bought him in game week 17 for Haaland the week before Man City had a blank, and then a lot of people got Solanke instead as an option. But yeah, it's kind of weird that I don't think people have been rewarded with points that they probably deserved because he's been the centre forward for City for weeks and weeks and weeks now. He's had some good stats, but this is the first game he's had a
Oh,
double-digit haul. But it's a shame it's when people captained him. But I would have gone there if I had him. But I've never really had the option to bring him in.
yeah. But we'll come on to it because the next part. So we're going to talk about the defense because they're frustrating, but we're also going to touch on the Haaland news with him being back, looking at helping people understand which of their attackers to get rid of. But we'll start with the defense piece because I think we're both now in a position where Gabriel's probably going to start now. But there was that time when Gabriel was he going to start? Was he not going to start? I know he's only missed a couple of games, but there was always a bit of a worry over him early doors. So we've got Gabriel, we've got Saliba, who was a guaranteed starter. We've then both got Taylor injured, Cash starts at 1 in every 4 or something. And then you've got a Stupinan who obviously got subbed off at halftime, and I've got Walker who didn't play at all. So we've rarely got 1, 2, possibly 3 defenders a game week that might see the pitch. So it's yeah, I'm quite intrigued to know what you're thinking on that point of view. And I pulled up the defense ticker just to show the next 6 game weeks which team should, in theory, have the easiest fixtures from a defensive point of view. Unsurprising to see City at the top, despite the fact that they're playing, Man United, they've got Liverpool away. That double obviously rarely helps them out. But is there any of these teams you look at and you think, you wouldn't mind a little bit of their defence?
Well, other than Man City, which is now a rotation risk, and I think everyone wants to target game week 24 and then especially game week 25. And what the sensible thing to do now is just sit, right? So there may be trading injuries, there may be suspensions, whatever, right? So, like if Stones or Kanji or Ake, whatnot, or just like a few of them got injured, then you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go Diaz, right? Or I'm going to go Walker with more things. So, yeah, City stand out, but you've got to play that route. They probably got like 8 first team defenders for 4 positions, right? So, I think it's smart to sit. I mean, Brentford away isn't the easiest fixture. I would expect them to concede, to be honest. There, so yeah, Man City stand out, but then all the other teams aren't very good. Well, funny enough, Brentford is not a bad defense, but Flecken is an awful keeper. But like, yeah, Brighton no, Bournemouth no, Brentford no. These aren't great defenses, right? So there's no. So I think yeah, keep your powder dry. Just like chill out and wait for it. If you're absolutely desperate for a defender, I think it's probably just worth thinking about people who can cover game week 26 with blanks and game week 29 with blanks. So Newcastle and Villa, I think it could be interesting options for them. But yeah, there's not a huge amount of options here. So I'd be my plan. I've got a dreadful defence next week, so I've got potentially 2 Arsenal players playing Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to accept it and just kind of wait for more info. I could rush in to get Walker, but like, I want to see, has he been dropped? Was it just a one-off tactical thing because like he's Stones back in? Was it a punishment because of his naughty behaviour? But everyone knew about that for.
You've got to. I was going to say you've got to think
I must
Pep
be
knew
involved in the gossip,
long
but I
before.
knew that for months. Like I knew about that for months. Like,
Yeah.
as did everyone. Like so, yeah, it's a bit of a. It might have been to accommodate the attacking 4, right? Because they had like 4 forwards, you know. Doku was a advanced winger, Foden was an advanced winger, and then De Bruyne and Alvarez were forwards, right? So maybe they just wanted to play width up there because it was a really weak Burnley team, and that was like Walker. We don't need you. We don't need you there. We need people controlling the ball back. So, yeah, I think defense. I'd agree with you. Slim pickings, and both our defenses don't look very good. But there's not many options screaming out, is there?
No, and unfortunately, I've put some more stuff about defenders. So it is the defenders based on the last 6 game weeks. Trent's still top, despite the fact he's played a game less. It must be the last 7 game weeks, obviously, because Gabriel's played 7.
Yeah.
Pedro Porro's played 7. But yeah, Trent's played less minutes by 150, but he's still been expected to get the highest points, which is quite an interesting one. But yeah, he's about to go to Arsenal.
Well, he's the best one. Like if Liverpool get that double game week, if they don't, then he's not a very good option, right? Just because it's Arsenal, then it's a easier game, isn't it? I think they playing Burnley or they got
Burnley at home.
Burnley was a great fixture, but then they got tough fixtures. Blank in 26, a blank in 29. So if they get a double, then he's the best option. But maybe not for this week. Like you don't need him for. He's got form against Arsenal, but like he's not the best. It's not a must-have fixture, right? You're playing against Arsenal away, and yeah, there's obviously that rotation risk with Bradley now if he is just getting eased back. So I'd wait a week on Trent, and then if you got a luxury, if you're burning a transfer and you really need a defender, Doty is probably an interesting, fun bet. Like, who are Luton playing? Are they on your ticker? The fixed ticker.
I don't think they were. Their fixtures must be about to swing.
Because he's got a double in 25, isn't he?
If the Liverpool one gets announced, he has, and it'll be Man United and Liverpool. Be going to Old Trafford.
He gets an assist. He's getting an assist most games, so. Yeah, he could be a fun option, or like a cheap Newcastle defender could be. Well, Newcastle are playing Luton at home next game week, so like for short term, like getting in a burn could be just a boring move. If
thinking of a burn, game week 26 one puts me off because he's got Arsenal.
Yeah,
but just thinking of burn. I might be in this position. We'll see later on, but I might be in this position where I am burning a transfer potentially. So I'm thinking I might just sort out a defense issue. But Burns there on this list. He's at the bottom.
Yeah.
goal and an assist. I think he scored in the cup as well, if I'm not mistaken. And we all know Newcastle at home are a different kettle of fish. You know, the options of keeping a clean sheet is much better at St James's Park. My only thought about potentially getting Burn is I'll end up then doubling up because I've got Dubravka in net. But I don't hate it. But there you go. You say about Doughty. Doughty? Is that how you pronounce it? He's ninth. He's on the list. Goal and 3 assists in the last 6 games.
Would you be able to identify him in a room of people?
Absolutely not.
No.
Not
I'm
a chance.
intrigued. I'm intrigued what he looks like. I think he's going to be the most average-looking bloke you've ever seen.
Yeah. No offense to him, but the other 9 people on that list I could definitely identify in a room. It's just him that I couldn't. But you've always said that past form is important as long as the fixtures work. This is what then is predicted in terms of the defenders.
Yeah.
So Trippier top, Trent then in second would be top if it wasn't for that blank.
Uh-huh.
It's it'd definitely be top otherwise. But that kind of points out, you're talking about Newcastle having some nice upcoming games. The next 3 look pretty nicely. Then that game week 26 when he's down to 2.7 is when he's got Arsenal, so not so good. But the next 3 fixtures are great, and it probably proves why he's top of the ticker. Would you go Trippier over Burn, or would you rather just save the money, get Burn? He seems to be attacking anyway. Does Dan Burn, obviously, to get his goal and an assist recently?
Yeah, I'd be lucky. We're going to need some money soon, right? Bring in
Yeah.
Haaland, potentially De Bruyne, potentially Trent. I'd go for the cheaper option there.
And then the rest
Yeah.
that I said, Paul hasn't taken account of Trent's blank when I was misreading. It clearly has. He's got a 0, so ignore that.
Yeah. What it's not
But
taken into account is the confirmed double in 25.
correct.
Right. So that's 4.9. That would be closer to it'd be almost like 10.
It'd be Luton.
Right. It would be like
Luton at
in
home,
excess
so
of
you'd
9
expect
expected points, right? So that's why
Yeah.
he's like the clear option if you play your cards right with you can bench him in 26. He's the best option. Maybe not this week, but 24 and then 25 with the double. He's clear.
Yeah, I'm with you. Are you surprised at 3 Arsenal? Or 4 Arsenal? Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, and White. All 4 Arsenal are on there.
Well, there's some okay fixtures. The next 2 are tough, but then 25, 28, it's a nice little run, and they're the best defensive team by far. Obviously, only last game week we got the benefit of that with the double clean sheet and Gabriel goal and assist, but they're the best defense. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, keep them on. So yeah, I'm assuming you've got no plans to get rid of any of Gabriel or Saliba just yet.
Just if it's safe,
then,
accommodate Trent for the double game week in 25. But other than that, I'd be keeping them.
Keep it old.
Yeah.
And then the last one is I saw Shah's at the bottom, Trippier's at the top. The Newcastle fixtures of the next few are really good, and then they tail off a little bit. So I don't know where. Yeah, I know last season or earlier on in the season, based on last season's stats, we were very pro Newcastle defense. But since Pope's been out, it's not been what it once was. Would you trust them?
Well, it's fixtures that breed this sort of stuff, right? So if they got some good fixtures, I'd be cool going there, especially with. Well, some people scoff at home versus away, but it's a thing. I'm sorry, that's why better odds are so different. You're not smarter than people coming up with better odds. People who scoff at home versus away, and there is something. Yeah, there is something about Newcastle being better at kind of very good at home.
So. Absolutely. I think Gordon's the prime example. His stats at home compared to his stats away are
captaincy option
ridiculous.
Potentially.
You playing up front, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's not.
If Isaac's confirmed injured,
he did that. He did that around Christmas time, and it didn't work out because he's good.
Yeah.
But he's not a great technical player, right? So he needs someone like Isaac and Wilson to draw defenders and stuff like that, cutting in. So yeah, he'll probably play attack forward, and that's not a good thing. But yeah. Oh well.
Which is weird, isn't it? Because you kind of want your midfields playing up front, that out of position thing that we all strive for.
Rashford back a few years ago, wasn't it? When under Solskjaer, when he was having that rich form, it was always being an inside forward rather than the centre forward was what it was all about.
Better for him. But this is, and again, we'll touch on whether you're planning on doing it this week or you're not doing it until you get some Haaland starts in his boots. But I imagine a lot of people that are listening will be looking to bring Haaland back if they haven't already. Now, it's not as easy as people think because we're both in a position where we've got Darwin Núñez, who is third, according to FPL points, is third over the last 6 game weeks in terms of how many he should have got. Solanke is sixth. Watkins is 11th. But Watkins' fixtures are swinging very nicely. Tillemans is back, so you'd expect his stats to go up. Solanke's got some nice fixtures as well. He's got Forest at home, and he scored today. And Darwin Núñez might have a double round the corner.
Yeah.
So it's a headache out of them. But other people will have Pedro, who again, he might be injured, so that might make their decision for them. But a lot of people have Alvarez. He's just got a double. Like, yeah, it's like, who do you sell?
I'm glad you said this table from Fix's expected FPL points sorted for forwards by game week 15 to 21, and Watkins is on it, but he's below Archer, he's below Mateta, he's below Isak, he's below Jesus, he's below Solanke, he's below Wood. Yeah, so not that impressive, but Villa had a really tough run of fixtures, right? And he looked good again on the weekend. Got goal. So I wouldn't read too much into this. Like Cunha isn't the best forward in the game, for example.
That's why I've thrown that one at the end, because I appreciate you like you always look at your expected goals per 90 for the season, and he's like at 0.46, whereas Watkins and Solanke are both ahead of that.
Yeah, I mean, let me say where I think it's all tough because this coming game week, Watkins and Solanke have really good fixtures. Núñez doesn't. Núñez has got Arsenal away, so I could bench him. But as you got here, Núñez's expected goal involvement is nearly 1 per 90, right? So that's insane levels. And people will scoff, "Oh, he's a bad finisher," whatever. He's not. I think if Liverpool don't get a double, this is why waiting on info is valuable, right? If Liverpool don't get a double, Núñez is the obvious option to go.
Yeah.
Because it's Arsenal, Burnley easy, then he's got an okay game week 25, but then he's got a blank in 26, then he's got City in 28, and then he's got a blank in 29, right? So that's an awful run, right? Whereas Watkins will play throughout. Villa got a really nice run. Solanke's run isn't quite as good, but he's on a 90-minute man, penalty taker, really high goal involvement. There's some quite good fixtures. If Liverpool got a double, probably for me Solanke would be the player out.
Yeah.
And I know he's got a double scheduled sometime later in the season because obviously we were robbed of his 9 points.
Robbed is the word. Robbed is the correct word.
A couple of games.
The word robbed.
A couple of game weeks ago. But yeah, I think it'd be Solanke for me.
I feel.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So I might just sit. I might just wait.
This week. Yeah. It's this week. I don't want to do 22% of the game right. 22% of the managers that bought in Haaland this week sold Alvarez. Right. I don't want to be one of those people.
That's so dumb. That is such a stupid move.
So I'm looking at how can I sell Solanke when he's at home to Forest? How can I sell Watkins? He's got Sheffield United. And how can I sell Darwin Núñez, who's got an XG per 90 of 0.97 and a potential? He's got Burnley next game week after Arsenal, and then a potential double the game week after. I just can't sell any of them. Whereas I think the week after, Bournemouth's games aren't quite as nice. The fixtures, it starts to turn slightly. So for that reason, I'd look at Solanke, but I don't want it to be. Is it based on price? Do I just assume Watkins is going to outscore him because he's 8.8 million? It's tough.
It's a proper decision. I mean, let's say I know Man City play on Monday, right? So that's well after the deadline. So it's unlikely there'll be a real valid leak, right? But let's say we receive something. Let's say you were involved in one of these shady group chats that get all the information, got the Walker news early, and it's
Yeah.
like Haaland is playing. Would you bring in him and captain him against Brentford?
When I've
I probably
got
would.
Solanke at home to Forest,
I probably would.
I feel like I would just because I feel like I should.
I think I would if I got like certainty he was going to play, start and play
Yeah,
65, 70 minutes against Brentford away. I'd probably get moving for Solanke.
they're
Yeah,
conceding. Yeah,
yeah.
they're conceding a
But
lot.
that's the issue though. Is like I don't think we'll get that certainty. And like, would you be
Well,
surprised if he's benched again?
no, I wouldn't. Especially if
Mm,
Alvarez has got two, and he's what he's done with with KDB, where he's warmed them back in. Brentford's defence has been
yeah.
horrendous of late. I imagine any City attacker has got any chance of scoring. But our pal FPL Brandon got the City news right, and he posted it early. And
Well,
in
I
fact,
think
a
I
City
don't know if
Twitter
someone's
account
winding him
took
up
it.
actually because like he was getting like quoted by all these accounts. He was like, "I bought
Honestly,
Walker myself and started him." So
it's
like,
cool, wasn't it?
I didn't get
He's
that news. You
messaging him
didn't get
like,
that
"Hey,
news.
famous mate,
Uh,
you're
uh,
famous." I think he grew by about a thousand followers just on the back of that in like a day because he got the news right. Fair play to him.
I heard he paid that
But yeah,
account.
I'll
I paid. He paid. I heard he paid that account to yeah
have.
credit the news to him to drive followers.
Well,
Like,
Brandon, I appreciate you are a listener. So if you could just text me and Matt at about 11:30 with the same, 11 o'clock's going to be the deadline. If you could text us at 10:30, please, with the City news, would very much appreciate it. He will be joining us one week, Brandon. I know we need to sort that out, but we'll have him on.
yeah.
Um, as always, we look at captain options. Game week 23 upcoming. Haaland is top, which tells you how important he might be if he does start.
Yeah.
Um, we'll find out where you're at soon, but I'm assuming looking at this, the obvious ones are on there, right? Haaland, Watkins has got Sheffield United, Gordon's going to be playing striker at home to Luton potentially. Solanke's got Forest. Trippier is a bit of a weird one, but I think that might be on historic data. But do you see them ones? So Haaland, Watkins, Gordon, Solanke, they're probably the main four to pick from.
Well, and Alvarez, right? So I'd bump Alvarez up because I think he's probably got better. So yeah, I think it's between Alvarez, Watkins. I wouldn't say Gordon, um, Solanke. Yeah, real tough one.
This
such a
is this
shame.
is what I've
Like
liked.
Watkins isn't on
Yeah,
penalties, right?
yeah, be
Otherwise,
the
I think
easy
it'd
pick.
be quite it'll be quite obvious if he was. But it's a real tough one. This one, it's been tough the last couple of weeks, isn't it? Obviously, I got the Palmer core right last game week. It's been fun actually, not having Haaland or Salah as a perma captain, and then the Richarlison one. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with his return. I think he could have got more, could have got less, but yeah, decent
Yeah.
return. Alvarez was obviously the best option this week. Yeah, this one's even tougher, I think.
I'm
Um,
gonna miss this because as soon as Haaland's back and starting every
yeah,
week, it's going to be Haaland,
yeah.
Haaland, Haaland, and I've enjoyed picking other players. So yeah, I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't want him back. I don't want him back as a Liverpool fan, and I don't want him back as an FPL asset. If I'm honest,
Mm.
but
I
but
think
yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Palmer's an option as
where
well. Who's
you've
not there? Palmer's got home and Wolves, so I think he should be
Palmer.
he should
Yeah,
be in the discussion for sure.
especially
Um,
if he gets those penalties from Anfield that he should have got given. Expect him to put them away. But
well,
yeah, Palmer's
that's
not
the
a
good thing. Bad luck in other game weeks, it rolls on to the next one. So
bad. He'll miss
that's why
them
I'm
all.
triple captaining Nunes. He's going to get
It's gonna even
50
out.
goals,
He's gonna
isn't
get a
he?
hat
50
trick
goals.
against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Uh, but on to the return of questions for Matt. I wish I had a jingle or something that I played at this point, so everybody could know that it was time for questions for Matt. Maybe I'll make up one day. But a few submissions for you. A couple of things we've discussed already. But Kyrie Irving, long-time listener, the famous basketball player, Kyrie Irving. It's looking at the City focus. So Is ditching Haaland for game week 23 an option? I wanted to throw that in. You've kind of answered that already for yourself. And then with the Walker benching, do you feel like Gvardiol is an option because he is the one that seems to be getting the most minutes of late?
Yeah. Is Kyrie going to get some tickets, like some pitch side tickets, like for a game? With all these questions,
Yeah, if you answer his questions correctly,
I fancy going to Dallas, like it's ditching. Yeah, I think like we've hinted at it now. Like we'll see the training picks. We'll hear what like the press conferences say. We'll see what the in the know accounts say and whatnot. But I think there's enough doubt to the people you're going to sell for Haaland have got good enough fixtures that like if you're not confident Haaland starts and gets like 70 minutes, you can just wait a week. So yeah, it's an option. It's an option, and probably one I'm leaning towards at the moment. Just going to wait and see. Is Gvardiol a choice over Walker? No, I don't think so. I don't know what the option is. So again, if you're looking to get a City defender, I'd be waiting closer to at least game week 24, if not game week 25, to make the decision. Right? Let's see if there's some injuries. Now it seems like very random.
yeah.
I think there's probably eight first team players who can get there. So what we got? We've got Diaz, Ake, Akanji,
Stones,
Walker,
Rick Lewis. Lewis gets a game now and
Rico
again.
Lewis,
Rico
yeah.
Lewis. Probably missing somebody dead obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's enough. There's enough.
There's plenty then.
Enough
Yeah,
option.
6 or 7 like for 4 positions, right? So I think Walker's got to be the one though. Still, like given he's played 90. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. So I would wait and see if there's some injuries that just help make a decision for you. It's too tough at the moment.
You've always taught us. You've always taught us. Info is king.
Yeah. It's
so stick with.
And then the next question from K7, right? Which is
K7, new time question answer submitter. So thanks K7 for joining us.
Goes straight in with a tough one. Like, as we were saying earlier,
which defenders are you going to target?
So
I know we're kind of giving you the stats, and it was slim pickings. But if I'm holding a gun to your head, Matt, 2 defenders. Which 2 defenders are you going to pick to go forward with?
Well, if Liverpool get the double in 25, Trent.
What if that isn't announced for the game week kicks off?
I'd like to roll like. Yeah, it certainly gets kind of riskier and riskier, doesn't it? Like if it's not announced tomorrow, then will it even happen? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time the predictions for doubles are wrong. Like it is a bit of a throw a dartboard, like not blindfolded, but maybe holding one eye with these sort of things, right? Which defenders to target?
It's not easy. Not an easy question.
Trent. It's a City defender, but like, yeah, choose your poison on that one. Like, I'd probably say Walker's still the best, but Stones might be the best because he's the best defender.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put out there. Maybe I'm gonna go Stones. Yeah, City defender.
He's not bad off a corner. It's a few headers off corners and free kicks.
He's just their best defender, right? Very important in the build-up as well, and is a very good defender, right? So I think I'll go Stones from City, but yeah, Trent, Stones / Walker, and then that Walker benching really is like kind of like it's just weird, isn't it? Just a weird one. But
hopefully it's a one-off.
And then
it to be a one-off.
You want someone to just tick along as a rotation option, I'd say Burn. Yeah, probably Newcastle defender. I was going to say Conser from Villa, but that's even more boring, right? So I'll probably say Burn.
Yeah. So he was one of my. I think I mentioned it last week. I was looking at potentially Brighton, potentially Villa, and Conser just feels dull. So yeah, I'd rather go Dan Burn on the chance of the attacker returns. He might pull. But yeah, transfer question of the week. You've answered this already. Nice and easy. It's like you knew what was coming. Steve says stuff. Good name. who you selling for Haaland? The reason I picked this one out is because he's got the same 3 strikers as us. But your answer is Darwin if it's confirmed he doesn't have a double. Solanke if it's confirmed he does.
It's tough though, isn't it, man? It's because like even with Darwin, you really would love him for Burnley at home.
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
you would love him
absolutely. That's it.
for
I
Burnley at
think
home, wouldn't you?
I think I might just well, we'll come on to it. We'll come on to it. I'm leaning one way, but it might change by Saturday morning when I make some transfers.
But if he's got the
Um,
blank in, I think it's like Solanke has Forest, and he Forest at home, which is a ripe fixture, then Fulham away, which is a
yeah,
good, I won't say ripe, but good fixture. Then Newcastle away, City home. So it's got to be Solanke based on those fixtures,
yeah,
really. And then like Watkins has a really nice run, and I think Tillman's being back helps him. So yeah, I think it's Solanke, and then like Darwin. It's dependent on that double.
yeah.
Um,
Agree.
yeah.
And, some good news. Bowen's been booked.
Ooh.
You'll
I
take
might
that.
I might be on a
You'll
grey
take
arrow
that.
now. I might be on a grey arrow. So we'll
You'll
take that.
take that. On to Matt. Thank you for questions for Matt. We'll get some more next week, hopefully. We can fire at you, but we'll move on to questions from Matt. And tell you what, both in the double figures again. Um, after Tuesday's fixtures with Eze getting his brace, I felt pretty confident until I saw Tony got a goal and an assist, and I was like, oh. Luckily, Werner got an assist and Doku just got booked, so it ended up being a win for me, 19-11. But
Well
again,
done, man.
both performed, both got those double digits, so a good
What a
week.
return.
But yeah, it takes me 9-7, 9-7 to me. A few of these players are now no longer possible. So Tony is now over 5%, so he is off the list of potential players to pick. But yeah, I picked first last week, so it is your go to pick first this week. Did we settle, by the way, that you have to whoever loses has to captain a defender in game week 1 next season?
We'll see what rank I finish. We'll see if I need to protect my overall like Hall of Fame ranks, or whether I've just done so bad this year that it don't matter. It's trending in that direction. Well, I
You're
need
picking it up.
I need
This time, if you think about it, this time, what, 10 game weeks ago, you were like over 2 million. You're now 350K ish. So you not going in the right direction, right? 15
right.
game weeks to go.
Right.
I've got to tell you that because I'm the same rank. So I've got to tell you that. So I'm hoping that I'm going to build. I told you last season, I said it a few times. I was at the turn of game week 18, 2.2 million, and he ended up 43K or something. So every chance to build, every chance. I believe in
I
us.
hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Whew. You're going to need to do some fill up whilst I look at the fixtures. What's on your
I'm
mind?
going completely outside the box with my 2 picks.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if you name either of them because I'm looking at because this I found this week picking my players. I hope you don't pick one of them because I've assumed you're not going to, and therefore I have nobody in my back pocket to bring out.
It's
Um,
really the fixtures are really weird, aren't they? Well, not weird.
honestly,
It's just
yeah,
like
which makes it quite fun, I think. So yeah, I've gone for some left field picks, which I'll just pick up a
I
goal
found
or
a
two.
target Villa.
Yeah,
I think.
okay,
Right, I've got
I'm
to
saying
check up.
nothing.
Is that ruining your plans?
I'm saying nothing.
Oh yeah.
Don't know what you're on about.
Oh, I've got an interesting guy from early in the season. Okay, he's gonna be my second pick. This is gonna be bad.
It's a Diaby by any chance? Is he under? Is he can't be under 5% Diaby, surely. He's got to be doing all right.
Bailey, is he even starting? No,
Oh, Bailey.
he's not getting the minutes.
Bailey's and yeah. You want me to go first because I don't think you're going to pick mine anyway.
Go on then.
It's really boring.
Go on.
4.6% homed. Defender playing at home to Luton. Dan Burn.
Dan Burn. Okay, that's a nice option. Yeah, different. Go for the
It's not a bad
defender.
pick. Yeah, and he
Not bad.
gets some attacking returns. You know, he's, as I say, he scored goal and an assist in the last 6. I think I'm pretty sure he scored in the cup. I'm pretty sure he did. So he gets up the left flank a little bit. Might be different now that Isaac's not going to be playing and Wilson's injured, so he might not be something he does as much. Um, but yeah, potential clean sheet option. And I might
Right.
own him next week, and then I can't pick him again. So I like him as a pick.
Eze and Elise are both yellow flagged. So that's an interesting one.
Who do they have? Brighton away. Yeah, every chance that you can that they can score there.
I think I might go. What's a tough one? It's tough. I'm gonna go Garnacho.
Garnacho.
Is he actually? Is he in the ownership? Is he under 5%? Anyone from Man
You
United
know
is
what?
at risk. He's
It's a good point.
5.4%. All right, I'll
Is
go
he? So you
Hoyland.
can't get him.
Hoyland. Yeah,
Hoyland, is he under
yeah,
5? And
yeah,
he got a goal and an assist today.
yeah, yeah. Form. Well, he
So
is in form
he's
actually.
picking up
He
points.
goal and assist against Spurs as well. So he's on form. Yeah, and he is
Hoyland
owned
it is.
by 3.8%. That's my first guy, first pick.
You've got your second one in your back pocket. I am going for a player that is about to start playing for a new club, and
Oh,
he's away at Burnley. And he just feels like the sort of player to me that is just going to move to a new club and smash in a brace. And he's 0.2% owned. Can you guess who it is? He'll be on Chelsea's books at the minute until the loan
oh,
deal goes through.
Broja. Yeah. Oh, what a weird move! Like,
Broja Brocha.
how much disrespect must he feel that they've like pushed him to their main rivals, and like they're actually
Yeah,
mid-table rivals. Like,
yeah.
how little do they
Fighting
want
with them.
him?
Fighting with him. So I'm going to go for him. I just feel like he's the sort of player that'll show up for Fulham and just go, right, have a bit of that Chelsea and put 2 in. Be like,
Yeah,
look, that's what you're missing. He's had a good run of form. Was it when he was at Southampton? He had a little decent run of form
yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
league. But it just feels to me like the sort of player that'll do it for Fulham, get a
Oh,
few
I like
goals.
it.
So
I
I'm
like it.
thinking away at Burnley, nice fixture for him to start off a potential run of goals. So yeah, it
Yeah,
feels a bit fun just to pick him.
I like it. I'm going to be boring, and I know you picked him last week, but he's still a good pick, and I think he'll be the penalty taker. So I'll go Eze.
So
Right. That was
who's
pretty,
putting the task off right?
that was probably really dull to listen to. So next time I'll try my hardest to do research in advance.
Well, we've got news. West Ham nil at 1. Sorry, West Ham 1, Bournemouth 1 is the full time result.
Oh, well,
So just to give you
when you
the
announced
bonus
that, it
points
was like,
update.
here's some big news. Solanke
Big
scored. But
news. Kudus got an assist.
has it? Yeah.
Yeah, annoyingly. He won the penalty. Ward-Prowse put in. But Ward-Prowse is getting 3. Solanke is getting 2. And then Alvarez seems to be getting a point. So yeah,
This
Kudus.
Alvarez pick, he just keeps getting away with it. Like even when he doesn't play, he gets points.
Yeah, they've just given it to the City guy. Just what? Because why not? Why not?
This is
But
like the
yeah, there you
Black
go.
Label
Matt
when
versus
Solanke
Day.
got 9 points and then that just disappeared. Yeah, these Alvarez
Yeah,
owners, they are
he's only on 8
something.
today. He's only on 8, so so they won't take it off him. But yeah, so Matt's Hoyland and Eze Hodgland as I used to call him, but
Oh,
Hoyland and Eze against Big Dan Burn and Brocha. Boom. There we go. On to our team reveals. So I've still got 2 transfers and I feel flush. I've got £11.2 million sat in my bank account, ready to spend. Kind of touched on it already. Haaland in feels like a must, but at the same time, I don't want to do it. The players I'd want to sell him for at the minute is Solanke, but when Solanke's got Forest at home, I don't want to sell him. He scored
yeah,
tonight. He
yeah,
has on penalties. It just doesn't feel like a fixture I want to get. I've made this mistake earlier in the season. I sold Solanke and he went on and scored twice.
yeah, yeah,
Um, don't want to do it, especially when we're not overly sure if Haaland's going to start as well. And he's my captain option. So I think I'm in that position where I will burn a transfer because the rest of the team. So just run through it for people that are listening as opposed to watching. The Bradford in goal at home to Luton. I've then got Walker, Gabriel. At the minute, I've got Charlie Taylor. He's going to be out, so I need to do something there. I might bring in Saliba, so that I've got the two Arsenal boys at the back, because I don't think Cash will start. Um, and then that'd be my three at the back. So Gabriel, Saliba, not the best fixture at home to Liverpool. Kyle Walker, then away at Brentford again. I don't think it's a great fixture. I think he'll probably concede. But then I'm really happy with my forward. So I've got Gross at home to Palace, Saka at home to Liverpool, Richarlison away at Everton, Foden away at Brentford, Palmer at home to Wolves. And then up front, Watkins away at Sheffield United and Solanke at home to Forest. Really nice fixtures. I think I'm in that position where I don't really want to touch my front seven. I'm quite happy leaving Darwin on the bench, who's away at Arsenal. So because I've got the two free transfers, it will allow me to make an amendment to my defence, which I think I need, especially
Okay.
with that Taylor injury. Um, so I think this is the week that Matty Cash finally gets bumped.
Okay. I think obviously
Probably,
burning the transfers big, especially when people are going to try and be loading up for their double game week 25. So I think obviously if that Liverpool fixture is announced tomorrow, you just bring in Trent for cash.
yeah. That was if. It's the if, isn't it? It's the if. And if I did bring in Trent with Taylor out, I'd probably play him. I'll just play the
Oh yeah,
odds if
he's
Liverpool or
like
Arsenal keep a clean
he
sheet.
was getting like 0.5 goal involvement before he got injured, like per game. Like so, um, yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm not going to
quite
burn him.
easy, but you need to wait on that news, new.
Exactly. But other than that, still looking at that double game week. It's what I put there. Sensible defence move is therefore Liverpool defender, but better from game week 4 onwards. I don't want to play a Liverpool defender away at
Yeah.
Arsenal, do I? So
I
yeah,
really
I'll
would.
wait on
I
that
wouldn't. I
announcement.
wouldn't let it burn though. I wouldn't burn it. I would move
No,
cash to
no, no, no,
someone,
no.
whether it's or Areola to Flecken or cash to Doty or cash to Burn or cash to
It'd be there.
Trent. Yeah.
It'd be there. It'll
Yeah.
probably be cash to burn unless I hear there's a double game week, and then it'll be to a Liverpool defender
But if
instead.
you're
But
burning a transfer, you could
I
easily.
feel more assured.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you. Any doubts around Darwin versus Foden?
no, because
Given Darwin's a
working on the
penalty
stats,
taker who gets one expected goals every game, and then Foden is
yeah, but
I don't know what he is. He just sits on the wing and then gets 0.4 goal involvement a game. Like,
I get your point, but it's not every day that Darwin plays away at Arsenal, which is
um,
statistically the hardest place to go in the league, is it not? Apart
I
from
think so.
Anfield,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. But of course, they're saying that against Newcastle, aren't they? And then like Darwin came away with
Darwin
5
scores a
points
brace.
after like record expected goal involvement. Like, but,
Yeah. He went to St James's Park, came off the bench, and in 11 minutes scored twice.
I think
So yeah, he does
there's a
do it.
point to debate there. I think I've got Darwin benched at the moment, but I think having penalty takers, you would have a front seven. No, well, Watkins don't count, does he? Watkins don't do penalties, but yeah, I mean, no, there's a debate there.
It's a good point. Never even thought about that. Six of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of those front seven. I'll take the pens. That's handy. But yeah, I get
You
your
do have
point with
Gross as
Darwin.
like a defensive midfielder there as well.
Yeah, but his stats were phenomenal going before I bought him. He was getting 0.7 expected goal involvements per game. He did last game. He just did.
Yeah,
Well, maybe not. The game I didn't look after Luton, but the game before it was 0.74. So he was still performing. And if
yeah.
Pedro is injured, you're thinking
Oh
Gross
yeah,
is taking the
if
pens.
Pedro's injured, yeah, you play Gross. If yeah, I
I'm still
don't
happy
know.
with the. I'm not. I'm not because he hasn't done anything in the 2 games I've owned him. But I picked him for 6 games. I think he'll come good. I think there'll be one or 2 games where he'll get a goal and an assist.
And to
I
think
might be more
You had
bullish.
Jota on the shortlist as well.
No, didn't have Jota.
Yeah,
Yeah, he wasn't on. He wasn't in my thinking.
I remember
I
you did
put
the
him in just
graphic,
for
didn't
other
you? You
people.
did the graphic. He was
Yeah,
like highly
I
recommend.
wasn't picking him. I was not picking Jota. Definitely not. I just too much of a too much of a will he, won't he with Jota, and
Yeah,
obviously he will, and he will
yeah,
bang. But bit too late to go to him now, I think.
fair,
But yeah,
fair,
that's
fair,
so
fair.
that's where I'm at. Captaincy is on Solanke. Yeah, I'll probably stay there, to be honest. If I do the defensive move, looking at those players, I think it'll stay on Solanke. I feel like it's a week I can have a bit of fun with it. Palmer's an option potentially. Watkins is an option potentially.
Nothing
But yeah,
screams
I like.
fun like Solanke captain.
Yeah, that's just the week before I sell him. Leave with a bang. Get me a couple of goals as captain, and then I'll sell you
You told
for
him.
Haaland. Yeah, so that's
I
what
wouldn't tell
I'm going to
him. I
give him a
wouldn't
bell.
tell him. Yeah, I wouldn't tell him.
Yeah, he'll go at some point. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But where are you at?
So I have one free transfer, so I've got a little less flexibility. Obviously, the big question for me is, do I bring in Haaland or not? So I'm currently trending towards not. Um, yeah, it's the Solanke, it's the unwillingness to sell Darwin with an upcoming double game week, and then we still think it's going to be, but um, yeah. So I think I can wait a week given like uncertainty with Haaland's minutes, but that may change. I'll see how I'm feeling at the deadline and see if there's any leaks or hints or whatnot. Um, uh, I'm playing cash at the moment, which isn't great because I know he started last game week. However, he's definitely not first choice, right? So I have to keep an eye on have a look at the Villa forum, that sort of stuff, and see who's in predicted lineups and whatnot. Saliba and Gabriel don't really like playing them. That's a really bad defense, but it's 1 week, so I can live with it. Obviously, yeah, the benching piece. I've got Watkins as my captain at the moment. It could equally be Palmer. Could it equally be Solanke as well? I don't think Gordon. I don't think I'd go there for Gordon, but the other guys, I think it's really, really close as the predicted points suggested. Yeah, I've got Foden benched actually over Darwin. Yeah, that'll be a close one. I think I'll play Saka just because he's had some good stats. He's playing at home, and I assume he's on pens. But like Foden was really underwhelming, and really this year he's been underwhelming. He's been good in a couple of games when he's been playing as a 10, but now he's out wide on the wing, so no set pieces. So I don't know.
I said it last week. I hate owning Foden as an asset in this game. I
Yeah.
hate it, and it feels awful having him.
And the thing is, he's always
I should
he
say,
always seems more. You're not really scared not having him. There's always like always
yeah,
seems more scary when you're looking at sites and it's saying, "Oh, he's predicted 8 points." He never really does much. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's going to be close.
It's easier for me. It's easier for me to bench Darwin than you because if Darwin does smash in 2 goals in real football terms, I'm going to be made up. I'm not even
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
bothered about losing FPL points. So yeah, I suppose it's an easier decision for me for that reason.
It's going to be close. I'm flip flopping it. It's a 50-50 call
Yeah.
thingy. Um,
And if the deadline was in 2 minutes, do you reckon you'd leave it as it is?
Probably not. I'd probably put phone in at the moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that is the team. I think everyone's team is gonna look a bit the way the fixtures landed. Like Arsenal and Liverpool is a big influencer, right? No one's gonna be massively happy with their team.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be one of those ones where yeah, some people will get lucky with the captaincy, I think, and have good game weeks. Some people will be unlucky, so it's gonna be. I'm prepared for a really frustrating one.
Yeah. So when Solanke bangs a brace, flying up the ranks.
It's just Alvarez is the threat, and Alvarez is the threat
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Well, all the City attackers are because people with Haaland will captain him, people with De Bruyne will
Yeah.
captain him, right? So they are the threats, like so. Yeah, we'll see. What an underwhelming team! Stupinan, Cash,
But
Gabriel, Palmer.
Gordon's a nice little differential. I don't know what his ownership is now, but Gordon at home to Luton
he
feels like a nice player to have.
I think it's Isak being out is the issue there, because when I had him, I've had him for a while, in and out of my team. But when he was playing striker himself, essentially with no one else, he was so isolated and couldn't do anything. It's when he's got someone to partner himself, it looks a little bit more threatening. So yeah, Isak being out worries me a little bit. But yeah, I think if you looked at probably predicted stats kind of sites, he'd probably be up there with the top. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
exciting game weeks come. Like game week 24 is looking good, and game week 25 are looking good, right? So this one, whatever.
Yeah, see what they bring, especially if it is a double for Liverpool as well, and Luton on top of the City and
How
Brentford.
many players would you have
Game
in
25
that case, in that
tasty.
scenario? How many City players and how many Liverpool players would you end up with?
I'll end up having, if I've worked out my transfers and my maths right, I'll have 3 City and I'll have 2 Liverpool
Yeah. One
without
of your
taking a
City is
hit.
Walker, so he counts as a half.
Half. I'll have 2.5 City. One of them would be Foden. The other one's going to be Haaland. So I'll have 1.75 City, and then I'll have Nunes and another from Liverpool. Probably. I don't know whether I don't think I can afford Haaland and Trent if I move cash up. So that's why I'd have to go cash to burn, and then I can still afford Trent
Yeah.
and Haaland. So that's why I'd have to do that. But yeah, that could be the route. That could be the route to take. So what about yourself? Have you worked it out?
Yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, I need to run the numbers again just based on price changes, but I think I was planning for at least 5, so 3 City and 2 Liverpool. I could stretch to Jota as well, but it's just that knock-on effect for game week 26 onwards. Then, like whether that really makes
Beauty of City,
sense.
innit? They get the double, and then they play in 26. The Liverpool headache, because then you've got Richarlison, he blanks. You've got Palmer, he blanks, and I've got the same issue.
Yeah. So it's like forcing
So,
yourself into some hits. So like it could be fun, but like I'll probably end up with 5 is really easy and really manageable.
well, yeah, and I got some news sent to me about uh, Charlie Taylor, and I don't know
There's
how
a
true
secret
this
group
is.
chat you got.
Secret group chat, but he's put apparently. So somebody called FPL Access, right? But it's he's out for a couple of months with a slipped disc in the neck.
Oh,
He may be back for game week 26. Well, that's when we need him. We need him for game week 26. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know how true that is. We'll find
it's like those 2 bits of info seem like contradictory. He's got a slipped disc in his neck. He's out for a couple of months. He's back in game week 26.
game week 26. And when is game week 26? That's a good
Yeah, I
question.
feel like it's. I
Game
feel
week
like
20,
it's. I feel like it's next week, but yeah, it could be March. It could be
24th of
later.
Feb. It's not far off. 24th
No,
of Feb.
she's going to recover from his
So,
slipped disc in his neck.
yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Why is
Oh,
he
that was
yellow
saying
flag?
FPL Access.
Anyway,
Hopefully, he's gone amber. By the way, he's not yellow. He's gone amber, so he's probably going to miss
uh,
this week, which doesn't really matter to either of us in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, just want to keep an eye on. Just want to keep an eye on because he might be if he looks unlikely to play 26. It's another issue we're going to have to deal with. But yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. But that takes us to the end. There you go. So I'm sorry that I keep looking down. My cat has decided to join me under the table. So I just started scratching at my leg there. So just just sorting that out. So, but yeah, hopefully, appreciate you joining us, Matt. Appreciate you
yeah.
joining us. Thanks for the
How many
guidance
points? We
as
got identical
always.
points this week, by the way. What's
I'm,
your?
I'm 1 point ahead of you.
Yeah, no way. How's
Cash off
that?
the bench. Okay. Because Walker didn't play.
Oh, smart. That's big
Could have been
brain.
worse. He could have kept a clean sheet, and then that would have been really frustrating. But just
Um,
the 1 point for
yeah.
him.
So you must have you've got
Yeah.
a grey arrow, have you then? A proper grey
Ooh,
arrow, barely
let's have
moving.
a look. Let's have a look. Obviously, United still playing, so this could change.
Which is funny how they're
Uh,
like the least fantasy relevant team
yeah.
right
Down
now.
57, safety's 59. So until something else happens, I'll be gone. It's not much. It's a low red, so I've gone from 335k to 340k. So it's not far off
Yeah.
staying still. which
I'm
you've always
350.
said make the greens big, make the reds small. So successfully achieved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
350.
not a bad
Not
week.
far off. Not far off. So
Yeah, considering the none we didn't have the big city guns. Well, I can take that.
yeah, I
But
think
hopefully
it's
this one will
that's
be
not too bad.
a better weekend.
Yeah, but next week is
Telling
one I
you.
think we this weekend is one I think we can be both pretty fearful about, right?
Yeah,
Must be.
yeah. But when we both rock up into it with Solanke as captain, people will fear us. You wait and see what he delivers.
I'm on Watkins at the moment for some reason. Someone who's not on pens, who's scored 1 goal in months. What am I
Yeah,
doing?
I'm telling you, Solanke it up, Solanke it up, and see where we go. Don't
I
take
might
my
du-
advice,
I might
but
just double. I might just double down
you're the
on
expert.
Nunes for this season. I'm just gonna go all out on the XG ranks. Like that's a moral victory,
Bench
right?
both your Arsenal defenders, play Nunes, give him the triple captain
Yeah,
every single
I'm
game
gonna
week.
win in some way. That's when McAllister gets like a pen or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep my eye out. I'll keep my eye out on your post ahead of the schedule, ahead of the deadline to see where you've ended up. No doubt I'll text you as well. But no, appreciate it whichever way you go. Best of luck with it, Matt. And we'll catch up next week, no doubt, and
Yeah.
see how we got on and plan ahead of the more exciting game week 24.
Good luck to you, mate. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did take something from it, give us a like, give us a share. Much appreciated. Drop some comments. Let us know who you're captaining. Maybe we'll take your advice from it and get in those questions from Matt as well. You can do that either following us on YouTube at FPL Journey to 10K. That's not the YouTube. That's the Twitter handle or X, whatever you want to call it. But also put it on in the comments on YouTube as well, and I'll pick out the best view and fire at the man himself next week. But until then, whatever you decide to do, best of luck, and we'll catch you next week.